Welcome back to I'll Read What She's Reading. I'm Kennedy.
I'm Reggie.
And I'm Mikayla.
And we are going to be doing this or that today for this episode.
Yes.
We got your guys' opinions. We've got which things you prefer, and
we're going to share our own, right?
Yeah, we'll share what we think too. Yeah. But before we get into the this or that, we wanted to give you guys a little update on what we've been reading lately. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Go for it.
Well, as you heard last week, we finished Throne of Glass. So that was a big thing we've been reading. But since then, I feel like we've all read so many books since then.
Yeah. So many.
I actually don't think I have actually read that many books since then. I read 20 Years Later.
Mm-hmm.
I got it on my Goodreads real quick. I read 20 Years Later. It's supposed to be like a thriller. It wasn't really much of a thriller to me. It was more just like a murder mystery.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my fave, but I read that one. It's free on Kindle Unlimited, and it's a pretty quick read.
That's so interesting because it's rated so highly.
Yeah,
it's got 4.27 stars.
It is. The ending is very good. I really like how it ended.
Okay.
There were just like some elements to it that I was just like, that were anticlimactic. Like there's this one whole part of the plot, and they like brushed over it so fast. I was like, that's all. So yeah, but I gave it 3 stars. I read I'm Glad My Mom Died. Both of you have read that since.
Yep.
Jemima McCurdy, that was 5 star for me. And I'm currently reading We Are Okay and our book of the month, Happy Place.
Which you're liking Happy Place,
Oh,
right?
I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I haven't started it.
A few of my friends have finished it, and they've rated it 5 stars.
Oh,
so
I'm
excited to start reading it.
I have high hopes that it'll be my favorite Emily Henry book, because I think I'm the only one. I know Reggie's read Beach Read, right?
Mm-hmm, that's the only one I've read of her.
I think
so
I've read
far.
all of her other books.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be good. Mikayla, what have you been reading?
Oh, let me tell you. It's crazy. I've read 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I read If He Had Been With Me.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
I watched Mikayla finish reading that one.
I was in the airport and I threw the book down.
Yeah, she threw the book down and she was like,
it's a little juvenile for me. Like, it was good, but I kind of felt like it was a little juvenile. You know?
I haven't read it, but
yeah.
Mikayla told me one part of it and I was like, yeah.
Well, I just told her about how she wears tiaras.
Yeah, if you read the book, you know she wears tiaras, and I'm like, okay.
She's in high school.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you like wearing tiaras,
no shame.
No shame. That was her entire personality.
Yeah.
Was the
it's
tiara.
hard to read romance young adult books.
Yeah.
Like, I think of ones I read, like, when I was in high school and, like, oh, I love these books, but to read them now, it's different.
But the weird thing is that it kind of has mature content in it, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's how I feel about. I'm reading Every Summer After.
Yeah.
That one has mature content.
Yeah.
Because it goes back and forth between then and now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you guys are 14? You're talking about this?
Hold on.
I literally knew nothing.
Yeah.
Just kidding. And then I read The Housemaids, and The Housemaid's Secret, which they both had read. I wasn't wanting a thriller, something like different from like romance. And then I read The Spanish Love Deception.
Did you like that one?
No. Okay, I loved it before they actually got together.
Oh, okay.
I love banter. Okay, here's my ick. I already Marco pulled them about it, but I just don't like the word baby.
Oh, this is the one. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like baby was used in every sentence. Like, tell me about it, baby. And I'm like, stop. Like, baby was just like, what's wrong, baby? I'm like, stop. The baby talk. Honest, it was good, and I really like the representation because she's from. Nope, Spain. She's from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives in New York, and she goes and visited Spain. So I love, like, kind of, and there was a lot of Spanish parts where they didn't translate.
Oh, cool.
So
Like Carrie Soto is back.
does that happen?
Yeah, they like don't translate
Yeah.
any of the Spanish in there, and you're like,
And I was like, oh, this is I don't know. What's she kind of did, but like in a few words, and so I wasn't getting the whole like. Her mom was going off about something, and she's like, "Oh, wow, she's upset." And I'm like, "What did she say exactly?" I wish I knew Spanish so I could like understand, but
Yeah.
especially after Reggie and I just got back from Peru, and they were talking about, I forget what it was, but I was like, "Oh, this is so fun." Oh, I think it was something about the food. They were talking about food.
oh yeah.
I think they were talking about like, I don't remember what it was, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, I had that literally last week," and I was like, "That was so fun."
Cute.
And so I think it was a good read after like visiting a Spanish speaking country, because I thought that was cool. But
yeah.
I just got a big ick from
Baby.
yeah. And then I finished I'm Glad My Mom Died, and I'm currently reading Art of Racing in the Rain and Every Summer After. So
I love it.
Yay.
Okay. Well, I feel like I've actually read not a ton.
Kennedy was saying the other day, she's like, I haven't really read that many books, and I'm like, you read more than Mikayla and I have.
yeah.
Well, I have no life. I wasn't in Peru, so I had to. Just kidding. So I read Me Before You. It was good.
Have you watched the
felt
movie yet?
left out. No, I haven't watched the movie yet.
I love
Let's
the
watch
movie.
it.
Okay, I'm in.
I
in.
want to
Let's
watch it.
the
I've
movie.
been wanting to watch it
It's
again.
a good
Let's watch
one.
it.
It's
Okay,
good.
let's have a movie night.
Okay.
I'll come. We can watch it.
We can all plan a night and we'll all watch it at the same time.
We can watch it virtually.
Yeah.
And then I read The Maidens because I loved The Silent Patient and it was a letdown. So,
I'm
Yeah.
excited to read it.
but if you are going to read the author's books, I would suggest reading The Silent Patient
Before
first. Yeah.
the Okay.
So, then I read You've Reached Sam. Apparently, I thought this wasn't a book that a lot of people talked about, and then I searched the hashtag and it has billions of views. So apparently it's a talked about book. And I cried so much. I didn't expect to cry as much as I did. And maybe I'm just in an emotional time in my life. I feel like
Kennedy's
I've
been
been crying
crying a
over everything.
lot.
Okay, I've been crying a lot.
Hey, I don't think there's anything wrong. Tears are great.
I wanted a book that would just make me cry, and You've Reached Sam made me cry. Yeah. It's about a girl who her boyfriend dies. And then, yeah.
Did you listen and read or just?
I did both, yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the Libby app, you guys. If you don't have the Libby app, for real, I got the ebook and the audiobook, and so I hybrid read it.
Okay.
I did both. So then I did Conversations with Friends. Hated it. So
Is that a Sally Rooney book?
Yes.
See, I read Normal People by her.
Did you like it?
No.
Yeah.
So
I did
many
not like
people love
Conversations
it,
with Friends.
and I just did not. I think I just hated the characters. And so
Literally, I hated every character.
Yeah,
In Conversations
so I
with
was
Friends.
like-
yeah.
so excited to read it because everyone loves it, and I was like, I don't know. It was hard for me to get through. I almost didn't want to finish
Yeah,
it.
it was not. Had I been reading it, I wouldn't have finished it, but I was listening to it. Then I read, and I'll end on this one. I read this book called Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I'm surprised how much I liked it. It's like a sci-fi thriller sci-fi thriller romance, and everything I thought it was going to be, it was not that. It was crazy, and it made me like think about life. I can't really say a lot without spoiling it. Anyways, it was really good.
Sounds
I gave
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
4 stars. Honestly, I should probably change it to 4.5 because I think about it a lot, but it was really cool. It was unlike anything I had read, and that's exactly what I wanted from it, and that's what I got.
Sweet. Love that.
So we don't just read ACOTAR, you guys. We actually read other books.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just ACOTAR and is easy to like make fun of,
And talk about.
Memes
dissect,
about.
make memes about,
Get people hooked on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're excited about this episode.
Me? Yes, we
Yeah.
are. Yes, we are.
Also, Kennedy and I will be reading Happy Place.
yes.
It's next on my list. I just wanted to
I'm gonna. I think I will probably finish it. Like I think I might stay up and read it until I finish it.
I'm really excited to read it.
And I don't know like what it is. And I mean, I love romance books. There's just something about this one that just like, I don't know what it is. I'm really, really liking it.
Is it
So-
just like unique?
I mean, kind of. I mean, I explained to you guys what it's about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those of you who are listening to this episode and maybe have started reading it will know what I'm talking about. But like, in case, I mean, we haven't really formally introduced, I mean, we talked about it in the Verity episode, but basically it's about a girl and a guy who they were engaged and they're not they like basically called off their engagement, but they didn't tell their friends about it. And now they are at a cabin with all their friends for like this next week. And there's a certain circumstance where they're like, we can't tell our friends that we have called off our engagement. So they're pretending that they're still engaged for this week while they're with their friends. So it goes back to like the beginning of their relationship to now, and it just like bounces back and forth. And I really like it a lot.
I'm very excited.
So that's like the synopsis, I would say. So
I have high expectations.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
had high expectations too. So I mean, I hope it's not like too overhyped, because I've literally heard nothing but good things about
Yeah,
it. So
that's what I'm kind of nervous about. I feel like sometimes when books are like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't want to like it.
Yeah.
I want to be different and hate it. Just kidding. That won't be the case. But sometimes that's why I hate TikTok, because there's so many TikToks like, I'm sobbing while reading this book. And I'm like, that's not a bad thing. But I'm like, what if I don't cry? Is there something wrong with me? Or maybe it's just because it was just overhyped.
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
I contribute to that TikTok problem. So
Yeah, same.
Awesome. Cool. All
well,
right.
let's get into our this or that's. We put a few polls on our Instagram stories of what you guys prefer, and it was fun to see what your guys' choices were, and we'll share our opinions as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to start us
Yeah,
off?
I'll
then?
go first. All right, the first one is movie adaptation or TV adaptation. 65% of you said movie and 35% said TV.
I'm kind of surprised by this one, actually.
I would rather a TV adaptation.
I feel like it depends on the book, because you can put in more of, I feel like with the TV series, I mean, if you do just one movie, it's like you have to sum everything up within a 2-hour thing. But with a TV show, it's like you could literally cover everything in the book. However, I do feel like movies typically have like, they're more theatrical. Sometimes they might be better
Like
done.
a bigger budget.
I don't know.
Here's my thing is, I think I like both. If
Yeah.
there was a preference, I don't know. I think there's less room for people to change stuff in movies.
Okay.
And I think there's more room for people to make adjustments in TV series.
Okay.
And I kind of hate when people decide to change things. If it's a book adaptation, I just think a lot of people with TV series like to change things a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And movies, you kind of have to pick the most important things. And there's not a lot of room for things to be changed.
Like not as much, not as much detail, but like there definitely is more time in a TV series to change things. Because there's like, you have 10 episodes. They're each an hour long. That's however many minutes, instead of movie is like 2 hours long.
Like, for example, with Daisy Jones and the Six, you were telling me that things were changed, and it changes it big time.
Yeah.
From what you guys were telling me, I didn't read the book. I know, get mad at me, but I watched the show, and you guys were saying like there was something that did not happen in the book that they put in the TV show that made you dislike a certain character. And I was like, why would they change
Yeah, it's
that?
interesting, because had it been in a movie, they probably wouldn't have known that.
That's
in
a
there.
good point. That's true.
Yeah.
So that's maybe, and I think if it's done well with a movie and a TV show, if they don't change a lot, then I love it. But I just think there's less room for things to be changed in a movie.
That's a good
You
point.
got to be very exact with the scenes that are put in, because you only have
That's a good point.
2.5 hours. So
Yeah, that's a good
That's a
point.
good point.
anyways, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
Me
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
All right. Romance or fantasy? We got a lot of romance readers in the book club. So 78% of you said romance and 22% of you said fantasy. Here's my thoughts on this. I know some people really don't like fantasy, but I think most of the people who said romance haven't really tried reading a lot of fantasy books.
Yeah.
So I do think this is your sign that if you are a big hardcore romance reader, to read ACOTAR.
Well,
Just ACOTAR.
honestly,
Just kidding.
I
There's
had a
plenty of
friend
other fantasy
the other
books.
day was like, you guys are convincing me to read ACOTAR.
Good.
And that surprised me. It was just out of the blue when she told me that. And I was like, oh. I didn't want to be like, oh my gosh, you should. But I was like, oh, yeah, you should. I'm trying to be nonchalant about it. I think she really would like it. I think it's just a fantasy.
Yeah, but
there are a lot of good romance
Yes.
fantasy books.
Yes.
So you can combine the two of them, and it doesn't just
Yes.
have to be fantasy. Throne of Glass is probably not the best thing to start with.
yes.
Avatar?
Yeah.
Sure. I think fantasy has ruined romance for me. Because fantasy just is like more complex.
The
And
plot
obviously-
isn't strictly romance.
there's a time and a place. Sometimes I want just like a fluffy romance novel, but now I find myself wanting something that's a little bit more complex. And now I want romance novels that aren't like they meet, they fall in love, happy ending. I
That's
want
the thing that's hard with romance.
because you know they're gonna end up together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I say fantasy.
Me too.
I'm in between.
Okay,
Because
fair enough. Gray area.
I can't say that fantasy is my favorite, but I can't say that romance is really my favorite either. So
Well,
I feel like you're a
thriller
kind of
girl.
girly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a thriller girly.
Okay.
I
Fair
like.
enough.
I just.
I
She
can
likes them. I
I
pick-
can
yeah.
appreciate a good romance book. For me, that's fluff.
Yes.
Romance is like fluff for me, and it's a good break from fantasy because, like Reggie said in our previous episode, fantasy does take a lot of emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mental.
draining.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mental.
It takes a lot of mental like capacity to read, not only because the names, like you gotta figure out how to
Yeah.
pronounce the names.
Can we?
But
talk
it's
about
easy.
that?
Yeah.
Why do authors choose the hardest names to pronounce?
I want an Emily in a fantasy book.
Yeah.
Can I have an Emily?
Joe.
John.
Bob.
But yeah, what's nice is that a romance book you can just kind of like pick it up, read it, set it down, and then come back to it. Whereas like that's why Throne of Glass was hard for me, is because I didn't have as much time to just like sit down and enjoy reading it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
all right.
It's me. I'm sorry. I don't have it pulled up. 2 seconds. I had Run Boy Run on.
Good
Okay.
song.
Oh. Spice in books or no spice in books? 73%. Nope. 77. Wow. 77 said spice. 23 said no spice.
I
Here-
have something. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
I was
no.
gonna say I have something to say about that. I think if you are in that 23% and you say you don't like it, you're lying.
I have a fine line though. Like
I
I
do
don't
too.
want like hardcore. Like if there's a few scenes here and there, it's welcomed. Bring it on.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and a fade to black sometimes. It's like, are you kidding
Like,
me?
come on.
We've
I-
waited this long.
I've been reading this book for 300 pages and you give me nothing? No.
yeah.
I'm an adult.
yeah.
If I was a 16-year-old, probably not, but I'm
Yeah.
26.
Some are
the way they're described.
yeah.
The words.
I don't like too descriptive.
Yeah.
I love like the tension, like when
Mhm.
between the first time like touching, like oh my
Mhm.
gosh, there was electricity.
Yeah, more like the
Yeah.
emotion behind it rather than like the physical act itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want those. You guys know exactly what
I
words
know
I'm
exactly what
talking
you're talking
about.
about.
I don't
Yeah.
need
Coho
that.
uses a lot of those.
I hate it.
A Court of Silver Flames?
I have to skip. Honestly, sometimes I skip when it's too
I
descriptive.
can't skip it though. I'm not gonna lie.
I
And it's
never
not
skip
because I'm
it.
like
I never skip it.
I never
There's
skip it either.
nothing wrong. I just sometimes I'm like so uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
sometimes it ruins it for me.
Yeah, that's okay.
Where I'm
Especially
like,
the dialogue.
yeah. I just
You guys, I saw this TikTok of this guy. He's riding in the car with his wife, and
No.
she's listening to A Court of Silver Flames. Have you seen it? And his face is just like, because it says something about.
no. I know what you're talking
won't-
about.
I won't say it, but it's during like a sex scene.
I
and
literally didn't know that's what it was even said because I skipped that.
yeah,
I was like,
very descriptive. I want it. Yeah, I like spice, but
Honestly,
not too much.
I
Fine
would
line for me.
maybe almost prefer not spice,
That's okay.
but I do like everything leading up to it,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're attention girly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm attention.
I
I
read
just-
you like a release.
Who does it?
Stop!
sorry.
No, that's so funny.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh,
It's too good.
oh.
Too good.
On that note, I'll go to the next one. Okay.
Oh, that was really loud. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
That was so funny.
Too good. All right. Enemies to lovers or second chance romance. 64% said enemies to lovers. 36% said second chance romance.
Enemies to lovers all day.
100%.
I
Oh,
think so too. But
Sorry.
I almost feel like a lot of romance books are enemies to lovers. So
You're
I
right.
like having basically the tension of enemies to
Yeah.
lovers is very satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't think I've ever read a second chance romance.
yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But second chance romance is kind of fun because you're like rooting, you're like, yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
my thing is sometimes,
But then you might not want them to be together.
yeah, because they broke up for a reason. Usually the reason's pretty hardcore. And I'm like,
Oh, I have read a second chance romance. That's right. Okay, yeah.
so that's my only thing. I haven't gotten that far. I'm nervous. I don't know the reason, but I have some inklings. We're talking about every summer after. I'm in the middle of reading it.
Okay, wait. What's your inkling? I'm curious.
That she hooked up with the brother,
I guess you'll see.
Stay tuned.
or something with her current boyfriend. What's his name?
I can't remember.
The Gregory. No.
You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see.
Tom Mason.
I can't. I don't even remember the
I
main
can't
character
either.
guy's name.
I don't either.
I don't.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Nah.
Next one?
Yep.
Okay. A series or a standalone book?
Series.
I guess I should say what the results
Oh,
are. 66% said series and 34% said standalone. For me, it depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Same.
But I feel like I can get more connected to a book and appreciate it a lot more when it's like a series.
Same. I would say
I agree.
70% of the time I want to read a series.
But it also
I
really
concur.
sucks when you're reading a series and then there's just like one book you really hate or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Here's
through.
the thing: is I will never not finish a series,
Same.
no matter how
though.
much
I'm trying
I
to think if I've never finished one.
like.
I
If there's a
think so.
book I didn't like, it's obviously a series for a
Mhm,
reason. And I'm
mhm.
like, I'm never not gonna finish a series. I mean,
agree.
there is some that I have started that are not complete, and I did not know that when I started them. So that's the only thing that sucks.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because I got to know what happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up is hardcover or paperback. 31% said hardcover. 69% said paperback.
I'm a paperback.
I'm a paperback girly too.
I like reading paperback, but hardcovers are prettier to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They look prettier on the shelf.
But I want to be able to like, I don't feel like I can get
Easier
as
to
comfy.
bend, yeah.
Yeah. With a hardcover.
Was it you that I didn't know this until I think Mikayla told me.
Oh yeah.
I think this is just a fun fact that when authors release a book, like they release them in hardback first
Mm-hmm.
and then they release them in paperback. Remind me why that is? Is there a reason?
I can't
Probably
They
get
can charge more.
money.
I think you can charge more, and also like sometimes if they do release both at the same time, paperback is actually more expensive.
Interesting.
That was the thing with Happy Place. The hardback was less expensive than the paperback on Amazon.
See, I could only get the
Interesting.
hardback. It would only let me get hardback.
Did you pre-order it though?
Yeah.
That might have been why.
that's
'cause
probably
I
why.
pre-ordered it.
So I don't really know the reason being. I don't know. Maybe if people bought a paperback, and especially in series.
Yeah, I know. Like for example, like Crescent City. Haven't read those yet. But if I like wanted to buy like the first 2 books, I could get them in paperback, but when the third one comes out, I would have to buy it in hardback.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on TikTok. I don't know all of the facts like straight up, but I think they can make more money off of hardback. 'Cause obviously hardback are more expensive than
Mhm.
paperback. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know if they're trying to get more money off the initial release and then later come out with the paperback.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. But it's really flippin' annoying when I have paperback in like 2 of the other books.
Mhm.
Like the Inheritance games.
Yeah.
I had the paperback for the first 2, and then the hardback I had to order.
Yeah.
The last one I had to order a hardback for it. So I don't know. I don't really know the reasoning, but I just want my bookshelf to look coherent, and it does not look that way.
But I'm not about to buy like
No.
3 different versions of a book. I can't
No.
do it. I can't
Yeah.
do it.
Everyone who
It's-
does that on TikTok,
reading is
good
expensive.
for you. Good for you.
Seriously. It's funny because I feel like generational, like our parents, my mom prefers a hardcover.
Yeah.
But then like
I feel like it's more classy looking.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's
harder
prettier.
to read.
It's just hard to
I
read
can't get
and more
comfy. I
expensive.
can't get
Mhm.
comfy, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Live in your favorite book or be your favorite character. Live
Can
in your
we guess?
Oh,
After
yeah.
you say your percentage, I want to guess what I think you guys would be.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah. Live in your favorite book was 56% and be your favorite character was 44%.
I'm going to guess.
Okay.
I'm going to
I'm trying
okay.
to decide what I want.
I think I'm going to guess Reggie live in your like the favorite world, and then I'm going to guess be your favorite character for Kennedy.
I think when I participated, I think I did put be your favorite character.
What's hard for me is that like I wouldn't stand a chance if I were to live in my favorite world. Like, just because we're all familiar with it. Let's put me in Akatar. I would not stand a chance.
Well, it depends on
I don't
what
think I
court
would.
you would be in.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's why a part of me is like, because I mean, I guess here's the thing: if I was living in it, I'm still myself, right? Or would I just be giving a background character?
I think
That's the thing. There's too many questions.
Wait, I want to guess yours, Mikayla. You're going to be your favorite character.
Yeah, because we know who you want to be.
Yeah.
That's who I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot to say it. If my actual fan cast would be me.
To
For
play
third
Selena.
class.
Yeah.
So
You are my Selena.
thanks.
Reggie,
That's
what
a
did you
hard
decide?
one. I think if I had to choose, and if it was just like, I could be my favorite character in their world, or I could just be myself in a world. I'd probably want to be myself. I like myself. I want
That's
to.
cute.
That is precious.
I love
I don't mean that like it's really
The
love myself,
self-hatred in my heart
but-
is real. I want to be someone else.
but I
Same.
just think I would like to see the world that I love through my own eyes and not through like you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
This would be
Yeah.
cool. I
Make
feel
your
like
own
it would be
decisions and all, yeah.
what it'd be like to be the townsfolk
of
in Valaris.
or like I'm just like thinking like even just like
Valor.
I mean I guess it would have to be a make believe world. Anyways, okay, sorry.
She
I have
wants
too
to be
many
herself.
thoughts. I'll be myself.
I love that for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's me.
You?
No,
You're
it's-
wanting to
I
be your
do-
character.
I
What are
do.
you wanting to be?
It's you.
Oh, we're moving on to
Oh.
the next. I didn't know what your answer was, Kennedy.
Oh, I want to be my favorite character.
Yeah.
And
You
wanna
want to be your favorite character, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I guess
I
I'll,
guessed
I'll
that
join
right.
I'll join your world then.
Come on in.
Okay.
All right. Colleen Hoover or Emily Henry. This answer disappointed me.
Oh.
The results. 57% said Colleen Hoover, and 43% said Emily Henry.
I gotta back up the followers a little bit. I think there's just more Colleen Hoover books than there are
Yeah.
Emily
I
Henry's
guess that's true.
books.
True.
And Colleen Hoover's way more hyped up.
Yeah.
Like every person that I talk to for the most part has read a Colleen Hoover book, but then I'll say, have you read Emily Henry? And they'll say no. And I'm like, okay, you got to read Emily Henry because her writing is better.
That's very fair.
That's why I defend.
I just like, no hate to Colleen Hoover. I just enjoy Emily Henry's books a lot more. I've only read 1.5, but I just feel like her writing, I love the way she writes a lot better than Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover is very good at telling a story, and like her stories are very good, but I really like reading Emily Henry's books. Like each paragraph I'm reading, I really like how she has a lot more descriptive, where
Yeah.
Colleen Hoover's more like straight to the point of like, let's get to the plot. Emily Henry more like, I feel like gives you more of a connection to.
I can't tell you, so I will let you know after I read all of her books, because I've read 13 of Colleen Hoover's books. So
Yeah. You're right. Like there's just a lot more hype to Colleen Hoover, and also she just has more books out.
sometimes I
Mhm.
also like the straight to the point
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
I would say Emily Henry you have more of her writing is more character driven. Colleen Hoover's is almost more like plot driven. But I do feel like every Colleen Hoover book I read, there's some like problematic or like kind of weird element. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Emily Henry's are just kind of like wholesome,
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say
That
Emily
is-
Henry,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I'd say Emily Henry, but
Well, I picked Emily Henry and I haven't even read it.
Mikayla just knows.
Just
She
kidding.
knows.
I just, everyone has told me, so I was like, okay, Emily Henry. I'll believe you guys.
excited for you to read Happy Place. Okay.
Now it's me.
Yeah.
Okay. Physical book / ebook and audiobook. 92% said physical / ebook, and then 8% said audio. Audiobook, yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer a physical book,
Me too.
but I love the option of the audiobook because of how much I drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally saved my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was gonna choose, I'd choose physical book if I had the time. Right now, I just drive everywhere.
Yeah,
so
the three of us are entering audiobook season.
Yeah.
And for me, when it comes to an audiobook versus a physical book, I listen to a book that's very low stakes or that I have low expectations for.
Yeah.
Because usually, say, for example, okay, I just listened to the last thing he told me and everybody told me how good it was. And maybe it's because I listened to it. I did not enjoy it. I've never rated an audiobook very high. So I don't
really think I have either.
I just listen to very low stakes books.
Well, Verity.
True.
I
But I
listen-
listened to it in one drive.
Yeah, it's true. Like focused,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
But I would pick a physical book.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Sweet.
Right. Straight on. We all agree.
We love it. Okay.
Books that make you cry or books that make you laugh. 61% said cry and 39% said laugh.
I'm books that make you cry.
Yeah, I can't think of too many books I've read that I'm like laughing out loud. Like maybe there's like a few funny moments in like a book I'm really liking.
Yeah.
That is, it's like I love the character. I'm like, haha, that's funny.
Sometimes I just want to read a book to make me feel something,
Oh yeah.
and I just want to cry.
I want to know what books people are reading that are making them laugh. It doesn't take a lot for me to cry in a book, but to make me laugh, I think it takes a little more effort.
I'm like really pondering right now about, I feel like there's not a lot of books that have made me laugh in the moment, but like the memes of books afterwards
Yeah,
like,
good point.
make me laugh really hard. I don't know. I'm trying to, the Spanish Love Deception, as much as I said I hate it, there were parts of the banter that made me like laugh out loud.
Okay.
But I would prefer, I like books that make me cry.
Not to keep talking about Happy Place, but I've laughed and I've cried multiple times already. So
We're really selling you on our book of the month,
I'm
guys.
sorry.
Well, I
just-
haven't even read
I
it,
haven't
so
read it.
hopefully it's good.
we gotta get back your trust after Verity, okay?
Some people said they liked it.
I
Honestly, I
know.
love the honest opinions.
I
Me
love
too.
that someone responded to our question box and said, I absolutely hated this book. I was like,
We love that. We love
Yeah.
the
No,
honesty,
I
truly.
like the honesty. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
yeah.
Because there's going to be books that I love that people don't like so much, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be books that you guys love and I hate.
Mhm.
So I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with that.
Me either.
Life would be boring if we all agreed on everything.
That's
so
very true.
Mhm.
True.
So sorry if we're pretty boring because we
But
do
yeah,
agree
we
on
literally
most
we're all like, we
things.
all want to cry. We just want to cry.
Yeah.
should
Well,
I say
speaking
laugh
of-
to be different? Just kidding.
Speaking of Verity, which was our book last month.
If you haven't read it,
Yeah, if you haven't read it, you can end the episode now. And thanks for listening. We love you so much.
Bye.
See you next week. But if you did read Verity, we wanted to poll you guys and ask you if you are team manuscript or team letter. And we got your responses. I actually don't know what the responses are, so I'm excited.
82% said manuscript. 18% said letter.
that doesn't really surprise me.
It doesn't really
That was
surprise me
funny.
either. And I actually would love to hear people's thoughts.
Oh, we did a
On-
question box asking for people's thoughts.
Oh, we did?
Well, we just said we want to hear your thoughts on the book. Not a lot of people
Well, I
responded
just
to
want to
it.
know the reason for the letter,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, because I think it's manuscript. You think it's manuscript. Kennedy goes back and forth.
Take out the bonus chapter, and I'm manuscript.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna settle
Someone
on
said, okay, wait. Someone said, I'm team letter only because I want a happy ending.
But
Love
I
this
don't understand that.
Because basically they're just saying, because had it been if you're team letter, she didn't do all those things that she claims she did in the manuscript. So like,
That
if
makes
your
sense.
team manuscript, you're saying like she did do all of these horrible things. But also, if your team letter, she made up all of these horrible, like it's even just her thinking about those, you know what I mean? I don't know.
That means
Also,
she died
how-
for nothing.
Also, why, if it wasn't true, why would she put herself into like a fake coma?
Of her own, yeah, well, yeah, and like write about, I understand like method writing. I remember talking to,
Anyways, that doesn't surprise me. I would just love to know, for those of you that were team letter, your reasoning. I would just like to know. I love hearing people's thoughts. So we've already kind of shared our thoughts last week on why we were mostly team manuscript. So
Interesting.
send us a DM.
Yeah, let us know why your team letter.
It's
and
honestly my
literally,
favorite.
we would love nothing more than hearing
Yeah.
your feedback, not only just about like podcast episodes, but like
Your book
the
updates.
the books that you're reading.
Yeah. It's my
It
favorite.
is just so fun to like
notification.
text someone and be like, I'm reading such and such book. Like, it's so fun for us to see what you're reading. And your thoughts on the books that we pick for the book club. So, yeah.
We'll be doing a lot more episodes with audience participation in the future. This was really fun for us to see
I loved hearing
how
you
you
guys
guys feel. Yeah.
your
It was fun.
votes. All right. And that ends the episode. Everyone follow us on TikTok and Instagram at What She's Reading Pod, and like and subscribe, review,
All the things.
all.
Tag us in your stories when you're listening.
You know the drill.
All right.
Yeah, it helps us and the pod out so much. So thanks, guys. Love you.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
We literally